To say, let's consider this. So we want to consider A, open bracket, B plus C. I will say to you that you only can distribute when there is a plus or a minus in a bracket. That's the only time. All right, and I'm going to do the second example with a subtraction. Now, the law of distribution suggests that, and I'm going to write it. I'll say, and I want everybody just to write this. Anything outside the bracket must be distributed hold on, ED, let me go back, must be distributed inside the bracket. That's all. What does that mean? It simply means then that this A that is immediately outside the bracket will be distributed inside like this. And a distribution comes with multiplication. All right, so this means that the A will now multiply with the B. And remember, this is a positive A, all right? So positive A times the B, then you can say positive A times the C. When A multiplied by B, you do get AB. And when A multiplied by C, you do get AC. So that is the law of distribution. If you observe the final product, you would notice that A, which was outside the bracket, was distributed inside to the two things that were there. So the thing is, it doesn't matter how many things are inside, it's going to distribute itself to them. More likely, you will see two things in there based on the level that you're doing, all right? So let us look on example 2, where we're going to be having a subtraction inside. Same thing. I also want you to observe that there is nothing between this element and the bracket. There's nothing. It's like they're exactly immediately beside each other. There's no mathematical operation between them, which means that you can distribute or you have to distribute. I'm using an arrow system to point to whatever I want to explain. So now you're seeing that A will now multiply to B. It's a positive A. It will be multiplied to the negative C. Now let's finalize. When A multiplied by B, you get AB. And when A multiplied by a negative C, you'll get negative AC. We'll have B plus C, and the A could be at the back. The observation I want you to make is that there is nothing between the letter A and the bracket, which means that multiplication is taking place. This A will multiply by the B. This same A will multiply by the C. So even if it is at the back, the procedure remains the same. A times B. It's a positive A times C. We will get AB plus AC. And it is the same thing like number 1. All right. So why am I doing this? Just in case you're organizing yourselves and you have it at looking like a situation 3, you don't feel funny. It's fine. You go ahead and you distribute just the same. Let's go through. This is positive 2 being distributed here to the 3x. The same positive 2 will be distributed to the negative 6. Now, as we go forward, when you distribute, you apply multiplication. So here it is that the 2, which is positive 2.
2 times 3x plus 2 times 6.
Plus 2 times 6. Final answer, 6.
6x plus 12.
Plus 12. So that is you distributing right there. Let's look at number 2. This x will go with the negative 4x squared. Then it's going to go with the negative 2x. Then it's going to go with the positive 1. I want you to understand that as many things that are in the bracket, it will be multiplied by the thing that is immediately outside. Let's finalize this. We're looking at x times negative 4x squared. Remember, you can't just write x with a sign. The sign is a plus. So it's plus x times your negative 2x plus x times 1. I'm going to kind of put, let me just put a little bar around this so that you could see that there are 3 pegs. 1, 2, number 3. So these are the 3 things that you're actually putting together as you go forward. Let's see. X times negative 4x squared. This is going to give us negative 4, but x raised to the third. Remember, when you multiply the same letters, you add their powers. So this is x to the 1 and then x to the 2. That's how we get the third. The next one is going to be negative 2, but the x will be raised to the second power. We're talking about x to the 1 here and x to the 1 there. Finally, x times 1 will just give me 1x, but the properly written thing is just x. So for number 6, I'm going to have outside, I'll have a term raised to a power. And inside I could have anything. I could have an xy and a minus 2x. Principle remains the same. This negative 5x to the third will be multiplied by xy, and then it's going to be multiplied by negative 2. Here it is, negative 5x to the third times xy. It's minus 5x to the third times negative 2x. We have 2 pegs that you're dealing with here. Here they are. So what you need to do is just to apply now the ordinary multiplication of terms. The number, there's no number to go with the negative 5. Matter of fact, there is a 1 here. But 1 times anything does not change it. So it's negative 5. You would have x to the 4th and then just a y. For the next peg, you're talking about negative 5 times negative 2, hardly. Then this will give us positive 10. And then the x to the third and the x will give you x to the 4th. And then that's that. All right, so number 7, we could see something like this. Let us say I see a 2x, and then I have a 5x plus 4 here. And then on the outside, I have minus x and a plus maybe 6. Now, if we are simplifying this, please be advised that these, and I'm going to shade them for you, these are not a part of the distribution. Not even this minus x. It's not a part of the distribution because if you look, it is not multiplying because there is something between the x and the bracket. However, on the other hand, this here is very different. It's like it pastes on onto the bracket. So you could see that this is the distribution here. So I'll use the arrows to dictate what we're going to be doing. 2x will go with the 5x, the 2x will go with the 4. Then we're going to execute this. Let's write it down. So we're talking about 2x, which will now be multiplied by 5x. Be advised that it is not just any 2x, it's a positive 2x. And that is why you did not see a negative in front of it. So you have to write now positive 2x. Because you have already written a number of things, you have to indicate that it is positive now on the inside. So positive 2x multiplied by 4. And then I'm going to put back these in red. There was a minus x and a positive 6. Now let's finalize these. These and this, they will be multiplying. So this is 10x to the second power, positive 8x, then there's a minus x and a positive 6. Now, you can't just walk away from this because we're noticing that we're seeing like terms. The positive x and the negative x, the positive 8x and the negative x, they are from the same family called the x family. Therefore, we're going to write back the 10x squared because this is a loner, has no family, so you write it back. However, the positive 8 and the negative 1x will now be simplified to become one term. I trust that you would understand that it is positive 7x. Basically, you are saying 8x minus 1x, that is 7x. There is nothing to be added to the 6. We leave it alone. My final answer, 10x squared plus 7x plus 6. It right here. All right, so I'm looking at this one. So we're going to distribute the 7x there, and they're going to distribute it there. So you're talking about 7x times x squared, positive 7x will multiply by a 3. It's 2 pegs. This is peg 1 and peg 2. Simplify this. There is a 7, but x will be raised to the third because we have an x to the 1 going with an x to the second. And you might be saying, where did the 1 come from, sir? If you don't see a power, it's a default 1, okay? 7x times 3, that's 21x. Well done. All right, let us see what we do here for number 2. We have a 5x, and this will be added to 2, open bracket, x minus 4. Be advised that this 2 is immediately outside the bracket. It must be used to be distributed inside. So my arrow will be pointing to what we need to do. We're going to be writing back this 5x. Then we're going to employ distribution here. 2 times x, the positive 2 times negative 4. These are giving me 2 pegs here. So I'm isolating them so you can have a better visual. Let me rewrite 5x plus 2 times x is 2x minus 8. When you add a 5x and a 2x, it is simply 7x minus 8. And that question was well done as well. For the last one, I will be doing it underneath. So first things first, we want to distribute the negative x to the 5x and the negative x to the 2. Here comes negative x times 5x, negative x times 2. Then at the back, there's a positive 3 and the minus 2x. These things at the back were not a part of the distribution because you could see that they are not directly linked to the bracket. Now let's continue looking at the pegs that we had for the distribution. That's 1, and there is peg number 2. Let us carry out this multiplication. Negative x times 5x will give us negative 5x squared. Negative x times 2, this will give us negative 2x. Then at this time, I could put this negative 2 beside this and then put that positive 3 at the back. Why did I do that? I don't have to, but at some point, I'm going to have to put them together. So I started grouping my like terms because I knew what I had, okay? So I grouped my like terms right there so that I could now make it a very simple step for the final goal. 5x squared minus 4x and a positive 3. Be advised that if you had written negative 5x squared with a positive 3 now and the minus 4x, it is still okay. What am I saying? As long as you have the terms with the right sign, it doesn't matter when you have written them, you are correct as well. So you may not write it the exact way I did, but you're still good to go as long as the signs in front are the same.